Hey guys, welcome back to Lucas Narration. Lucas here. I've got a story from the relationship advice subreddit and I really want to share it with you. Head up, this story does have quite a few trigger warnings. It contains themes of infidelity, fertility issues, abortion, betrayal, traumatic and premature birth, and deadbeat father. So if these themes are a bit too heavy for you, consider skipping the story. But if you're ready for a heartfelt story, hit subscribe and let's check it out now. The story is from Reddit user Narration titled, I 26 female am pregnant after a fertility struggle / being told I may never get pregnant. My husband 42 male just admitted to having an affair and getting someone else pregnant. Not sure what to do. My husband and I got married 3 years ago. When I was a teenager I was told that due to medical complications I may never be able to have children, but after 2 years of trying and fertility treatments I'm now halfway through my pregnancy with our miracle baby. Unfortunately, because of some complications I had to cut back on my hours at work. It's very physical. My husband offered to pick up more hours to compensate, so he has been working a lot more in the past 2 months and coming home later. I couldn't see that anything was amiss. Things were the same as they've always been. He always brings home flowers, food, things for the baby, coffee. He's always sending me thoughtful and loving texts through the day. The gaps where he was unreachable were explainable. But this morning he sat me down and gave me news that rocked me. He told me he's been having an affair for the past 6 weeks and that his affair partner just found out that she's pregnant. He says that if she decides to keep the baby she's going to raise it by herself and that they mutually agreed to end the relationship already. He wants to make things right. I don't know how things can ever be right again. He just wants to move on from what he is calling his transgression. How do I ever forgive him? How do you deal with the unthinkable? How do I learn to live with the idea that my child's sibling might be out there somewhere someday? Most importantly, how do I learn to move on like he wants me to? After reading all the comments of the online community, Opie edited the post and said, I have an obstetrics appointment for unrelated medical reasons tomorrow, at which I will make sure to request extensive testing. I have plans to meet with a lawyer on Monday. I'm talking to my sister to see if I can stay with her. My relationships with much of my family are fractious, but I have a pretty positive relationship with her. I will not be seeking other options other than having my baby due to being pretty far along and having been told in the past I would not conceive. Regardless of what my husband has done, I love my child. Opie continued, I saw my obstetrician on Friday and will hopefully have some test results, fingers crossed for all negative, within the next few days. I will meet the lawyer tomorrow and go from there. My sister advised me to stay in the house that my husband and I co-own until I talk to a lawyer. This has been such an emotionally harrowing time for me. He's acting like everything is normal. All I want to do is sleep. I keep telling myself it'll be over soon. I'm truly sorry to hear that you're going through such a painful and challenging situation. It's undoubtedly a complex and emotional time for you. Forgiving him? That's a tough one. It's a process, not a switch you can flip. Right now, focus on you and that little miracle growing inside you. What do you guys think? Don't hesitate to share your opinions with us in the comments below. Now let's check out what people online talk about Opie in the comments. One Reddit user, Lil Panda Toys, says, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be okay having a baby with a man who just abandoned one. Opie replies, I keep coming back to this. It sounds like she's on the fence about the pregnancy, which is ultimately 100% her choice, but the ease with which he's willing to take the stance of just forgetting the whole thing happened is hard for me. I'm more than halfway through my pregnancy, 23 weeks, so I'm in a different position. Another user, Loveandinfo, asks, was thinking the exact thing? I'm not getting that he has any fear of losing you. Why? Either he thinks you're easy to control, or not that bright, or desperate to stay his wife. Which is it? Why isn't he begging you to stay with him? Why does he feel you'll just go along with forgetting that he's cheated on you? Here's the response of Opie. She says, I think he knows that my initial reaction was going to be that yes, we could fix this, or that I would agree to make things right. I think that he knows that I have so much invested emotionally in this relationship. He is my first real love, my first everything really, and that I'm more likely to fight for what we have than to give it up. Even I'm surprised at how conflicted I feel. Another user, his wife 10, adds, it sounds like he has no remorse and the only reason the affair ended was because she got pregnant. How could you possibly trust a man like him? It sounds like he is minimizing his affair. If she keeps the baby and they still work together, I highly doubt he will completely cut things off. She'll be in his life from now on. Are you okay with that? This user, Imaskrazalini, can't help but say, That's exactly the only reason he admitted it, because he won't be able to hide the baby from Opie if they do shared custody, visits, paying child support, or if she just shows up at their door for whatever reason. If they hadn't conceived, the affair would still be ongoing and kept secret. Hell, it's probably going to continue anyway. Time to lawyer up and split. 10 days later, Opie came and posted a full update in a new post titled, "My 26 female, husband 42 male, got another woman pregnant while I was already pregnant." Where to begin? First off, the other woman decided to terminate her pregnancy, which was confirmed to me by her. Talking to her was really weird and didn't answer a lot of questions that I had for her. This is a person who knows me and has met me a number of times, and I just don't get it. The motivations on both sides don't make any sense to me, and I don't know if they ever will. It helped to learn there was no romantic feelings, but it was still confusing, especially since I perceive my husband and I to have a healthy sex life as often as 4 to 6 times per week. And I don't really get what's fun or exciting about leaving the boundaries of your marriage. We are in therapy, separately and together. Going separately is helping me to sort out a lot of my own feelings, but I think that going together is essential one way or another as well. He has been cooperative and participatory in therapy. I'm hopeful that we can figure at least some things out. We've had a lot of conversations about why it won't be easy for me to just forgive this and why I need answers and changes in behavior, and I do feel like I've been heard. Divorce is not completely off the table, but it's a hard situation to be in, especially in a vulnerable state like being pregnant. I've consulted with a lawyer and made my parameters clear to him, but for right now I want to try to work things out. I know this isn't the update that a lot of people probably hoped for, but for me I think this is the right choice. Thank you all for your words of encouragement, advice, and perspective. I definitely took a lot of things to heart and will remember them for a long time. It's very appreciated. I want to make it clear, since people seem confused, divorce is not off the table. What is off the table right now is trying to make a decision that will affect my life greatly when I'm already in an extremely vulnerable physical/mental position, without making an attempt at healing both on my own and with him. Even if we end up divorced in the end, allowing myself time means that things have a higher chance of being amiable and easier for all of us, especially our child. Later, Opie did give us another update. She says, "His affairs ruined everything. 6 months ago, my life was the best it has ever been. My husband and I had just found out that we were pregnant after in vitro fertilization. Our relationship seemed happy and strong as it ever has. Just absolutely on top of the world. I found out he'd had an affair in mid-October where his affair partner had gotten pregnant as well. The affair partner terminated the pregnancy, and I was prepared to work through things with him, even just to end up divorcing amicably. Then I found out that shortly before we got married he'd had another affair that I never found out about previous. I was devastated beyond devastation. He said some things to me that I will never forget or be able to forgive. I went into preterm labor at 26 weeks, which they were able to stop, but after 4 weeks I'm still having a lot of complications and I may have to deliver the baby early. My husband has been nasty and uncooperative since we fought. He hasn't come to see me in the hospital even once in 4 weeks. My life was incredible before all of before I knew about all of this. I wish I could go back to that." Recently, Opie gave us the latest update about her tough situation. She says, "As it turns out, his affair didn't really ruin anything. I had been leaving little updates in this post, but I thought I would finally do one big update post in its own post. I think I'm finally getting better. I'm still sad. I still hurt. There are things that will take a really long time to get over. But in the time I've spent away from him, I've come to value my freedom and myself as a person. He didn't come to see me in the hospital even once. He hasn't come to see our baby even once. We had a big fight shortly before I went into the hospital over his infidelity, and if he didn't want to see me, that's his business, but not coming to see the baby we fought so hard for is something else entirely. But it was a sign for me that I can do this. We can do this. I can do better for my daughter and for myself. I have a lawyer now and I'm moving forward with divorce proceedings. I know I will be okay. I don't have to rely on him for anything. I'm sad about how all of this happened. I wish it didn't happen. But I also know now that I can have a whole life beyond this, you know? Also, our baby was born a little more than 6 weeks early and is 10 days old now. She is still in the neonatal intensive care unit, just getting a little bit stronger, but she's doing amazing and should be home by the end of this month. I can't wait to really start enjoying motherhood." Opie later did give us additional information about the story by responding a comment, Corfi74, that asks, "It's weird that his personality changed so completely in such a short time, or was he always a selfish aholy and you somehow didn't see the red flags? Anyway, congrats on your baby, I wish you all the best. Opie says. In retrospect, there were signs. But the thing is that we had a giant fight after I found out about the second, actually first, affair, and when that happened, it was like something snapped. He said things to me I don't want to repeat and I could never forgive as long as I live. And when I didn't fold, he decided to punish me with the silent treatment / ignoring me / whatever this is. I lived out our entire marriage as an exceptionally passive person. Gentle, endlessly forgiving, go with the flow. When I started to stand up for myself, the cracks started to show. But there were never problems before because I never made problems. Another user, Dalton402, says, "Whoa, dealing with infidelity, having a baby, and filing for divorce. That is more than a sign. That is superhero shit. You must be proud of yourself dealing with that all at once. You're inspiring. Really sad that your daughter will never have a father, though. Not being there at birth loses him any parental rights in my book and he loses his man card. He can't call himself a man anymore. That is lowest of the low shit. Opie, I just want to send big virtual hugs to you. I hope that you can find your own happiness in life cause you're worth more than to be in a toxic environment and relationships. Best of luck to you, Opie." Now let's move on to the next story from Reddit user who goes by the name Cat Owner Victim. The story is about a woman whose husband presses her to wear red dress for their wedding because she is not pure. It titled, "My husband-to-be wants everyone to know I'm not pure." It's exactly what the title says. I've been with my fiancé for 6 years and engaged for the past 8 months. I've been doing most of the wedding planning, but my fiancé, let's just call him Ryan, will give his input here and there. So about a month ago, Ryan out of nowhere said he was talking to some of his coworkers and thinks that I shouldn't wear a white dress. This was totally weird to me. Ryan is a very artistic guy, so I figured this was more about how the photos would turn out or something along those lines, but I'm set on wearing white. I told him this and I could see that he was annoyed, but he let it go. 2 weeks ago I finally picked and paid for my dress and this caused a huge argument. Ryan again came to me very annoyed. He asked to see the dress I picked, but I said no because I wanted it to be a surprise for our wedding day. He asked me to at least tell him what color it was, and when I said white, he threw a fit. I honestly do not see why this was a big deal. Almost everyone wears white on their wedding day. When I asked him what color he thought I'd be wearing, he told me I should wear red. Again, this was super weird to me. I asked him why I would wear red to our wedding, and he told me that brides only wear white when they are pure. For some background, Ryan and I started dating when I was 21 and he just turned 20. He was a virgin when we met, and I only had one other person who was my ex-boyfriend of 4 years throughout high school. This caused a lot of problems the first year of our relationship, and we almost did not continue dating because of how insecure he felt. After that first year, it was never a problem again until now, I guess. He went to his mom about all of this thinking she would convince me, but she's on my side. So 2 nights ago, Ryan, his mom, and I stood in our living room and argued about my sex life being shown in a dress. His mom stated that he is no longer a virgin either, so maybe he should wear red too, and he bursted out crying. Ryan is still stating that me wearing white would be deceiving all of the guests and that it is different for guys. This all has honestly made me question even marrying this man. I don't know if it's just because everything is so fresh, but I'm really disgusted by him. He's not even religious, so I know this is just about him still thinking about me losing my virginity at 18 before I even knew him. I just needed to rant to anyone about his psycho this is. I can't believe your fiancé is making a big deal about you wearing white because of your past. Like, who even does that in this day and age? It's your wedding, not a purity test. And bringing his mom into the argument? That's just awkward. Sounds like he's stuck in some outdated mindset and letting his insecurities from way back mess things up. Honestly, it's a red flag if he's still hung up on your past after all these years. This wedding dress debate is just a symptom of deeper issues. Maybe take a step back and really think if you want to marry someone who's acting like this. It's your day, your dress, and your life. Don't let him ruin it with his weird purity standards. Curious about what the online community wants to say to OP? Let's check it out now. We're starting in the comments with the most upvoted comment from one Reddit user, GreyCat17, that says, "Look, if he is this insecure after 6 years together, things are not going to improve. Is he going to mention your impurity in his wedding speech? Is he going to try to leverage this in your marriage to get what he wants? Is he going to demand paternity tests for your children? I'd seriously consider what you were signing up for. Dude sounds messed up AF." Next commenter says, Inevitable Okra 3229. Jesus, throw the whole man in the bin. For 6 years has he been planning on getting back at you for not being a virgin at your wedding? I'm petty affair partner and would just stop having sex with him. When he asks why, I would say since he finds your sexual history so disgusting, he is now part of the history while you tell him to pack his shit and go find a virgin at 26. This user, Pros Before Brothers, says, keep the mom, chuck the man? Why is it the guest's business if she's a virgin? Are they part of some weird fundamentalist cult where the guests will all gather round to watch them consummate the union and hang the bloodstained sheet like a flag? Is this the 1500s? Another adds clear, Boysenberry 141. Yep, exactly. Keep mom, dump jerk fiancé. It's different for men at hashtag $% man. Child has no thoughts of his own and is just parroting the opinions of others. He needs to grow up, turn on his brain, and grow a spine. This child is not ready to get married. This user, spiritual, spell 9351, can't help but agree. LOL, yes. He needs to gather her hymen blood samples from the sheet and show them to his mom and friends, or else she isn't worthy of his hand in marriage. No hymen, no value apparently. What century is this? Does he want her to get surgery to repair her torn hymen before they consummate? Is he King Henry VIII? After about a half of a month, Opie came in to update the post and said, what do I wear on my first date in 6 years? I'm in my late 20s and just broke off an engagement. This is going to be my first date in many, many years. We're going to a nice waterfront seafood restaurant in North Carolina. It's a beach, but also November, so I have no idea what would be appropriate. What would you do if you were Opie? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. And if you love our today's Reddit stories, why not show your support by giving us a thumbs up and hitting the subscribe button? Don't forget to turn on the notification bell for more content. Bye for now.